This is a question from Ian, which I think is a very interesting question and one we're asked a lot about at the moment, and it concerns fee for intervention. I think you all know that these days the HSE, if they find what they call a material breach of the regulations when they visit your premises, then fee for intervention will kick in, and it costs £124 an hour. So I think this is an interesting subject, and I think it's one we do need to be very aware of. Ian asked about the disparity in fines. Now, this is separate from fee for intervention, so I will deal with that shortly. Let's deal with fee for intervention first. I think, as with any other HSE visit, if you can show that you are aware of what your risks are, and you can show that you have done what it's reasonable for you to do to control those risks, you have nothing to fear from FFI at all. Now, if you're not sure whether you really have got everything under control, please call us because we can help. You don't have to be on a long-term contract with us. We can do a short visit if there's one thing that you're concerned about. So that's fee for intervention. Let's move on now to the fines that are being handed out in the courts. Now, the Sentencing Council guidelines came in October 2015, but the results are only really just now becoming very visible indeed. You will have seen reports in the press of various health and safety prosecutions. Some of the fines are very large, and you might sometimes feel that the offence was not particularly dreadful. So I thought I'd better just explain how the guidelines work. Now, they take a number of factors into consideration now when they look at the organisation that's being prosecuted. So, for instance, a large organisation immediately sets the bar in a different place from where it might be if you're a very small organisation. They will then take into account not the injury that was caused. This is the really interesting one. It's the injury that could have been caused. So if one of your members of staff falls off a ladder, but all that happens is they break their collarbone, I'm afraid the courts will take the view that, well, from a ladder, you could fall and be killed, which is true. So they take that into account as well. Another factor you need to be very aware of is how much did this organisation know about the risks that were there. So, for instance, if we have been in and said to you, you do have a problem with, let's say, hand-arm vibration syndrome. If later you are, having done nothing about it, then prosecuted for a case of hand-arm vibration syndrome, the courts will take into account the fact that you had expert advice, you did not act on that advice. So that's another factor that's going to push the fine up. So you can see already that there are a huge number of things that the courts will look at. And I know that when you see a press report, it's very easy to think, why has that fine been given out for that when for somebody else it was much lower? But I think you have to take press releases with a bit of a pinch of salt. You know, unless you were sitting in that courtroom, you do not know all the things that the judge hearing the case heard. So let me assure you that the courts are very fair. Prosecutions are not taken lightly. HSE inspectors have to show that there is a public interest case for taking somebody to prosecution. So it isn't something that just happens on a whim. If you end up in court, then you are going to be looked at very carefully. What is your turnover? How many staff do you have? What could you reasonably have known about this? What did you do about it? Now, clearly, if you have a very high turnover, not, you should note, profit. If you have a high turnover, you're being prosecuted for something that you did know about and really did not do very much about, and you are a large organisation, I'm afraid you can expect a large fine. So thank you, Ian. Very useful question.